But to stay calm, verse 34. Thus did Esau spurn the birthright. Okay. This is a fundamental point, people. His birthright was taken away from him the same way with the Egyptians in Egypt. We saw the story there as well. The famine came along, 7 years of famine after 7 good years. Joseph, under the king's rule, had stockpiled all the food, and during the 7 years of famine, the known world, which would have been the Far East, Middle East, there, wherever it was they had the place, they were starving. So Joseph and his cohorts took away everything they had. They took away all the land, all the animals. They took away their birthright, ultimately, the Egyptians, and made them into workers for the king. And that's the same thing that happens over and over. The masses are turned into slaves for the very few elite. Simple math. That's how it is. So of course, Jacob is the story. We don't know about Esau. All we know is that he liked the woods, and the woods are disappearing. So when the woods are all gone, the concept of Esau will probably disappear with it. But that's a bit of a problem, because Esau isn't just the type of a human being. He isn't just a human being that is interested in carnal knowledge and knowledge at all. I mean, the whole concept is, with the Jacob concept, is obey and do what God says, and the concept of Esau is know and learn from the land, and of course learn from each other and learn with the language. And I mean, there's enough information for us there that we could actually do things right. And this concept that Jacob has, not Jacob the person, Jacob the concept, is that all of everything can be made safe if all the wealth is put into one spot. And if everything is put into a shopping mall, and if everybody is working 40 hours a week to drive a car, to have a house, and to not stop and think, just to work, we have made no progress. We are still where we were when Jacob really existed. We are still working our lives away for the man. As simple as that. And this is crazy. And of course we can't get rid of everything about Jacob. There are some things, I mean, like this camera, for instance, for the internet and whatnot, that's certainly part of Jacob. But to let go of everything that is nature, we can't do that, because we're not the only creatures on this planet. This is getting way too long. Okay, let's wrap this up by saying we aren't here alone on this planet. We are one creature, and there are countless creatures. Most of the creatures don't even live above the surface of the earth. Most of them live in mud and rock and water, and they're all below the surface of the planet. And of course they've got no word, because they don't have a language for us to understand. But they also say, no, we must watch out for taking away all of life for the shopping mall. It's not a fair trade. And if we are promised money so that we can have nice things, that we can drive to work in a nice car and live in a nice cave, ultimately. I mean, if you're really rich, you get to have your piece of land. But the whole thing is made into a really retarded system, and we need to get some Esau back in our existence. We need, I mean, the fish won't have it. I mean, if the fish could speak, they would say, look it, you have to stop building shopping malls, and you have to stop putting poisons into the water. Use some products that aren't going to poison the planet. It's as simple as that. And otherwise, Jacob has to go. And I don't want to see Jacob go, because he's my dear brother, but he cannot have the planet. The planet is too much. And if someone is starving and you take away their birthright, I'm sorry, but that's just not a very good way to be.